You're listening to the Anime Brothers Podcast, the podcast that wants to be the best podcast ever, and if we can't, by God, we'll give it one try and then quit. I am your host, YungxHarm, and with me, as always, is the over-emotional, overreactive, and just over-cute Maddie.
Holy shit, that's actually really funny that you said that, because that's going to come back into play way, way later. But by the way, you have not acknowledged my feelings and how I feel about podcasting, and because you've not acknowledged my feelings, I'm really mad. And I'm going to run away, and I'm going to quit podcasting forever. I'm out of it. I'm quitting. I'm quitting.
No, you get back here so I can quit tomorrow.
Okay, I'm coming back, but I might quit. I might quit next episode. I'm not sure yet.
We are undecided. If you're wondering why we're talking about quitting and then being passionate, we are talking about Girls Band Cry today, an anime recommended to us by one of our patrons, The Big Yikes. He is the winner, the most recent winner of the Patreon review raffle, and we will be spinning that wheel again today in a short moment, but wanted to go ahead and say what we're talking about. So yeah, Girls Band Cry, we know this is a big favorite for The Big Yikes, so I want to let you know, homie, I know you're listening, we're just goofing right now, we're just being silly little guys. We definitely have a lot of thoughts, both on the pros and cons side of the list that we are going to talk about, but I don't want you to think that, or anybody to think, that we are just outright didn't like the show. So, before we get into Girls Band Cry, if you want more Anime Brothers, join the Discord, join the Patreon. If you end up really, really liking the show, we'd appreciate that. Follow us on your preferred podcast platform. Rate and review us on Apple and Spotify, and go follow Maddie's blog, animesery.com. There we go. Plugs out of the way. Good job.
So professional.
Good job.
God,
Hell
I'm
yeah.
so
Look at us
erect
go.
right now.
Look at us go. So before we get into the discussion on the featured anime this week, we are going to do what, Maddie?
We're going to spin the wheel to decide our fate.
We're going to spin that motherfucking wheel.
Spin that motherfucking wheel.
So if you are not familiar with what the Patreon review raffle wheel is, well, I mean, I think you should have figured it out by now, but that's fine. We put everybody's recommendation for an anime that they want us to watch, all of our patrons, on a wheel. We spin that wheel, it lands on our patron's recommendation, and we watch that anime in 2 to 6 months. No guarantees. So,
yeah.
To find out what the next Patreon review raffle is going to be, we got to stream up. So this is the most legit wheel spin in all of podcasting.
I've got to validate this wheel. I've got to validate. Oh my god!
Wheel. All right, we've had some changes, so it might we may need to do some shuffling after. The wheel is not accurate, but the people who picked it are. So without further ado, we are going to spin that wheel. Oh man! Oh man! Oh man!
Oh man! Oh shit!
Shit! That is insane.
Oh, that's congratulations!
I know this one hasn't been chosen. Congratulations to our patron Kai, also head of the only person at Clear and Sweet, the YouTube channel godisallolly.com. Give our shouts out when we can. We are going to be watching for our next Patreon review raffle anime, Princess Tutu.
This is gonna be fun because I actually have like a weird history with this anime. The only time that I was ever popular with women in my life, like in my first year of college, I got to watch like 5 episodes of this anime, like on a bed with several women.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
good for you, man. I bet that was a cool time.
It was a cool time. It's the only time that I was ever cool to women in any capacity.
Hell yeah!
It was a cool show too,
bro. Hell yeah! All right, looking forward to it. I'm just kind of checking up on the old internet right now, seeing where I'm gonna have to keep my Amazon Prime subscription for another month. God, Matt, we gotta watch this one quick, buddy. This is gonna be a quick turnaround because I really want to cancel that.
You're gonna piss off Silas. It took 4 months to watch my show, but you did Princess 2 in 1, and it's like we had to do it. We had to do it.
Look, it's not my fault. You blame Crunchyroll and its licensing agreements, okay? If Vandred was about to leave, I would have watched it sooner.
You hear that, Crunchyroll? Drop more of your licenses so we'll watch the anime quicker. Yeah, this is surprisingly, this is like a pseudo Maho Shoujo show, so I mean it's Kai, so obviously, but yeah, exciting stuff. I can't wait to relive when I had short hair.
It really shows how much like I really pay attention to stuff because I was thinking this whole time that Kai recommended us Princess Jellyfish, which I think he also likes. Um, so I'm like, when I read it, I was like, Princess Tutu? All right, let's go. I don't know. It's cool. Either way, I was just a little surprised.
I also was surprised. I was excited though because I want to talk about this anime. Maybe we could even get Kai on for this. Who knows?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. If I have this weird manic energy that I do today, I don't know if I want guests.
Oh, well, you know what, Kai, I'm sorry. Earthworm doesn't want you. This is his decision. He hates you. He's decided that he's hated you. He just sent me a DM that says, BT dubs, I hate Kai. Everything they do sucks.
You know what?
God is a lolly, more like God is a trolley.
More like God is a lolly. Because your takes got me laughing. Gurren Lagann is phallic, and that's okay. That's all I'm going to say about some of Kai's takes.
Alrighty then. That's a good take, though.
No, yeah. All right, so cool. I'm looking forward to it. We're all looking forward to it. Princess Tutu. All right, so I guess we should move on to Girls Band Cry, though, now. That's why we're here?
Yeah, that's why we're here.
That's why we're here. Okay, Girls Band Cry. More like a girls band makes me cry because the show could have been something, mate, but it just weren't amazing.
Ooh, the feelings have already been spoiled.
I think we're both kind of in agreement on there. And that's the thing. I don't want to bury the lead. I want to just get into it after this quick production stuff and just talk about how we're feeling. So, created and produced by Toei Animation, series is part of a multimedia project that began in 2023 in collaboration with Ageha Springs. I believe they're like a Vocaloid-esque thing. They have like an AI vocalist. They're some sort of company. I couldn't really get the deets on them, but a collaboration with them and Universal Music Japan, with Clearly Music being the focus, and it aired from April to June in 2024. And it was directed by Kazuo Sakai. I nailed it, I hope. And written by, again, I hope, Juki Hanada, writer of all that is anime, apparently. If you look at their credits, just fucking almost everything, especially on like the shoujo or like the idol kind of stuff. It's kind of insane. I don't know if you still have them pulled up, Matt, if you want to give some examples. I have since closed that tab.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, no, I have that tab still open. Let's pull it up real quick. Fuck, I didn't have the tab open. No, I got it. It's still there.
I remember Steins Gate. Steins Gate was the one that blew my mind. They were the writer for Steins Gate.
Yeah, okay, so I got it pulled up real quick. Yeah, they've basically been the screenplay, behind the screenplay and script for a lot of stuff. Like, I think like 6 episodes of No Game, No Life. K-On! They did some script work for Love Live Sunshine. They did just basically... funnily enough, they did A Place Further Than the Universe, the Big Yikes original pick for this raffle. So they've done a lot of things, like literally a lot of things. It seems like they're kind of work alongside KyoAni, it appears to be.
Yeah.
They did The Dangers of My Heart, an anime I really enjoyed. They are everywhere. They are literally, if you've seen an anime, you roll the dice, you've got a 1 in 6 chance that they've had something to do with the anime you've just watched.
I think JD's seen some of their anime credits, and that's saying something.
Oh wow, that is saying something. If the Joshua has seen it, then that's really out of pocket.
Fate's Day Night 2006, they had a credit on that. Oh, I didn't dig too deep into exactly what, but they had a fucking credit on that.
Somebody had to have a credit on that. It wasn't going to be me.
So yeah, that is the production that we have on Girls Band Cry. There's a bunch more, but I don't know that we necessarily want to get into it. But quick synopsis: it is about a girl, Nina, who moves from, I assume, the countryside. I'm not really familiar with the geography of Japan, to the city to try to live on her own. And she almost immediately finds a girl, the former lead singer of her favorite band, Diamond Dust. They start to make music together. They find some other girls to make music with them. They form a band, and they have eventually the goal of going pro. So that is the idea behind Girls Band Cry, a little snappy 13-episode anime. So let's go ahead and get into it. Matt, what did you know, or how did you feel about Girls Band Cry before starting it up? And did the anime affirm or deny those assumptions?
Okay, so this anime originally came out, and because I got to do this all the time, came out in spring 2024 alongside the Hashira training arc, Demon Slayer, Kaiju number 8, and Windbreaker. It came out during kind of a thick season, yeah. Not that I was watching seasonal anime that regularly during that season, but it came out during a kind of a thick season. And a semi-thick, viscous maybe is the word I want to use. It's not the word I want to use. Anyways, getting to the fucking point already. So it came out in a season where there were some seasonal anime I was actually watching. In fact, another anime called Jellyfish Can't Swim at Night, which is oddly similar to this show, but we'll get to that later. And it came out, and I was going to watch this. I was super excited for the show because I heard a lot of people get stoked on just the first few episodes. I wanted to watch it, and Crunchyroll did not have it licensed at that point. For some reason, Toei said, you know who can get this? Amazon. They can get it, but you gotta like pay per episode or something like that. Something like that kind of bullshit that made me say, I am not doing that. No, thank you. I will not be indulging in that kind of activity. So I ended up finding an episode off a truck, whatever that entails, and watching the first episode, saying, oh yeah, okay, I can kind of get with this. This is 3D anime, and it's looking kind of good. You know, we're going to get some emotional, get kind of some Yuri bait early on. All right, Girls Band Cry. And then I never watched another episode again.
Okay. Was for any particular reason or just happened to fall off?
Getting anime off a truck is hard because trucks drive so fast. And I just don't got the knees for it anymore. So I just gave up on it and said, if I'm supposed to watch it, it'll fall in my lap at some point. And Crunchyroll got it in November, and I did not watch it, even when it was licensed. So,
but it fell into your lap thanks to the wheel and thanks to the big yikes. So, yes. There you go.
Australia brings another banger straight to your doors, and it's not Tim Tams this time.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If you had more to say, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're not cutting me off. I don't have anything more to say. It was basically this. If you're talking about like my first impressions, though, I was kind of excited just based off the visual spectacular. This 3D animation does look kind of good. It looks better than some of the other 3D animation I've seen in other anime, and it's got Toei behind it. Toei, who has more anime than several Japanese deities. They've got more money than them, so I knew that there was going to be a budget sink into this. So I was really excited going in and getting to see those first few episodes. I thought the instrument playing, it was pretty impressive. Normally, a lot of band anime and idol anime use 3D for the actual dancing and the visual scenes like that. So an anime that's just committing to the bit all the way is refreshing. So there was a lot of things stacked in Girls Band Cry's favor for me to actually be more favorable to it. But it spoiled that in several ways. And one of the biggest ways that it spoiled is well, it's right at the front door, and its name is Nina, but we'll talk about that later. What about you? How are you feeling going in?
Yeah, so I had really just heard about this mostly from the Big Yikes for a long time. And just through our dealings in the Discord, I do value the Big Yikes' opinion on anime. We have very similar tastes. So I was thinking when they said, because it came out right after Bocchi the Rock, it was really the thing. Like Bocchi the Rock came out and everybody was really high on that. And then I remember not long after Girls Band Cry came out, and the Big Yikes almost had one of those like fucking Toy Story moments where he's like, I don't want to play with you anymore with Bocchi the Rock. And he was so into Girls Band Cry. So I had high expectations from that. And for some reason recently, I had just heard other people kind of start to talk about it. Most notably, not to just make this shout out the episode, but fuck it, we're already in. Most notably, Dan from Otaku Host Club, whose opinion I also value very highly in anime. I think Dan has a lot of good shit to say. So when he says that he thought Girls Band Cry wasn't just not good, but he thought it was like genuinely bad, if I'm not mistaken. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but like he didn't. I remember him not having nice things to say about it, not thinking highly of it. So I was like, okay, it must be somewhere in the middle, at that point. And this is all before we had even spun the fucking wheels to know to watch it. So going in, I'd say, just to kind of start off, first impressions, I can see both sides. I can really see how somebody can look at this anime and think like, I love this with all of my heart. Like it's everything I've ever wanted. And I can also see how somebody, definitely with like Dan's more I've been in 1,000 punk band sensibility, can look at this and go, this is very fantasy as
Mhm.
far as like being in a band goes.
Yeah. Well, both of us have also been in bands to some capacity. You were in a more serious band than I was. You actually recorded a track, whereas
Yeah.
I was just in a let's go play some covers and get a little bit of music, get a little bit of music practice, and maybe play a couple of small little gigs with just nothing original. Um, and you, however, like I said, recorded tracks. I mean, while Dan has recorded more music than the Beatles at this rate, or
Yeah.
played more music than the Beatles at this rate. Um, so we all have different experiences, and I think at the same time, after coming from Girls Band Cry and Bochy the Rock, I kind of said like Girls Band Cry is leaning a little bit more on the this is fiction side.
Yeah.
One would actually argue that this is very dramatic. Like you could slide this in for a CW show, like a teen drama, and there it is. It would flawlessly slip into that.
Very much so.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want the whole conversation to be dominated by comparisons to Bochy the Rock and K-On, but I do think that it begs slight comparisons, at least from the like what it's like to be in a band. And I don't know if you have any other experience in other band anime. Those are really, that's kind of where I go. But I figure we can get that out of the way early. Let's talk about kind of how we thought it handled band life and maybe our experiences in a band, how they kind of flavor that. And then we can get on to actually reviewing the anime.
Okay, well, that's fair enough.
So granted, I want to preface this by Japan might be different. You know what I mean? I know we don't really have like an idol culture thing here. But a few things that kind of rubbed me the wrong way as far as it being, I did not think it was a good depiction of being in a band. You know, I thought it really felt like somebody did a lot of research on what popular bands do. You know what I mean? Like this felt like kind of an agency plant, how an agency plant band would get together. Like this was more attuned to how the Spice Girls came up rather than like an actual rock and roll band like playing shows and making a name for themselves. It was very fast tracked. They played like one show as a band, and then it was like we're gonna go pro, quote unquote.
Yeah.
I don't know that there was ever like, again, Japan might be different. There was never discussions about like going pro. You know, there was being signed by a label, but there was never that distinction like we're a professional band. And that kind of struck me as kind of weird, as like the person who wrote this didn't quite understand like what it means to be, you know, being in a band is really just like, how can you make money off of just doing your music? There's no like going pro, rarely, at least where we are, you know, from all my experience back in 2010 to 2013. It's like you getting signed by a label is pretty much them going, we'll give you money to record an album, and then we'll distribute that album for you, and we'll give you support to get on tours and stuff. But most of it is done by yourself. So it felt very much like it almost took a band as if it was like a sports anime in that respect, where it's like, I'm a really good boxer. Do I go pro with it, or do I just keep fighting on the amateur circuit? Which being in a band is not, it's not so one side or the other, at least in my experience.
Well, I have complete amateur hour. Didn't record a single thing, just mostly played music because playing music was fun. And a couple of the guys in the band I was in just wanted to have the clout of playing in a band so that they could get laid. Just being forthright with it. They're never going to listen to this, so I can say whatever the fuck I want. And that's kind of the entire mentality of it. I just wanted to hit some drums around. I'm not a particularly gifted drummer. I didn't practice. I have only so much talent. And these other people were of the same nature. Like practices were they were few and far between, maybe once a week. But they were never wholly serious, you know?
Yeah.
It was a lot of goofing around, and then we'd practice a couple of stuff, and then it would move right along, you know? But yeah, I think this anime, and you know, maybe this is something that separates enjoyment, is if you have And you know what? That's kind of rude to say, like, well, if you didn't play in a band, you would like this because you don't know what it's like. But I
Yeah.
feel like there's a certain jaded, like, there's a certain mentality that comes when you've done something and then you see something that's a little bit more fabricated. You know,
Yeah.
I think this is more. I don't even want to say this is fabricated because this could happen to a band. Possibly. It's just that it's very streamlined. You know, there's no gaff in between the plot progressing.
Yeah.
It's we made a single. We are now assigned to a label. We have been signed to a label. We are playing. We are playing multiple shows. We're recording another single. One of the key things that kind of maybe annoyed me a little bit is and this will come into the review, is the usage of another day, someday later. Okay, how much time has passed? What's going on here? Where am I? What am I? Why does my butt hurt?
Yeah.
You know?
And now that kind of talking about it, it feels very more like someone did research on how an idol would
Mhm.
come up. And again, I can't, I know from like a Dan band perspective, a very like underground, it's not like there are like underground punk bands who just play at fucking, punk bars in Japan. I know that shit exists, but like,
Mm.
no, it really felt like an idol thing. It felt like putting an idol in band clothing,
Yeah.
if that's a good analogy.
Yeah, it basically dressed up a band like an idol group, and treated it as that success was a natural conclusion. Which even for idol groups, it's not a foregone conclusion that you're going to be successful. It's just if an agency pushes you well enough, you're going to have some fans in some capacity. But yeah,
Yeah.
I can see where you're coming from on that.
Yeah. And as far as like the comparisons to like Bocchi the Rock and K-On!, where Bocchi the Rock went right, I think is they went so over the top with their wildness that
Mhm.
it's seen as much more of a parody, where Girls Band Cry, as far as the being in a band aspect, it was too close, it was too close to being real. Like
Mhm.
this could happen, but you have an uncle that owns a record label if this happens to you.
Yeah, you know somebody who knows somebody, and
Yeah.
but again, the show is a little bit more indulgent, which is fine.
Yeah. But like, to be fair, out of these three that we're talking about, the girls band playing stuff, K-On's the most realistic, because Matt, even though you say like my band, yeah, we did record a tracking, whatever. That last band was pretty serious because we had some serious dudes in it. The band before
Mm,
that, which I was in for 3 fucking years, played a lot more shows in.
mm,
90% of our practice time was fucking around.
yeah.
Like genuinely, like the K-On girls eating cake instead of writing music is more real than anything I've ever seen in a band anything. Like that is the most real shit.
Well, see, I just think about my experience with music writing in that particular my one sole experience was just, hey, I think we should do this. I don't think we should. All right, well, we're not going to do it then. And that was
Yep.
the end. That was the end of it.
Good collaboration.
Oh yeah, no, we were terrible. But again, we were also all young and had very big egos, and some of us just wanted to hit the drums around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, I dig it. I really dig it. The guy who just wanted to be in a band to like be cool and get laid and stuff. Unfortunately, that was a lot of me. You know what I mean? I just wanted
Yeah.
to jump around. That's a big reason why I played bass for a long. Like I knew how to play bass, but it's not like I went and practiced to learn guitar. It was like, no, I can play bass and I can be an ass while playing it. So boom, baby, there we go.
But bass is such a cool instrument.
It is cool. Okay, cool. We got that out of the way. I don't want to. Let's say some nice things. What did you like about this anime? Because there's a lot that I liked about it, and I feel like we've been in negativeville for a long time. So I want to be in
Oh,
positiveville.
Okay, so here's some positivity. The 3D in this is gorgeous. Some of the scene transitions during the musical bits,
Yeah,
like as much as the back of my brain was like, you got a deadline, you're making Worm wait on you, you better watch the show. I could not skip any of the
Nope.
performances. I
Nope.
thought they were sublime. I was actually at one point watching can't remember her name. Also, my theory remains mostly true that the drummers in every single music anime are the worst characters. I remain redeemed in this scientific theory. I also have, after this, an adjacent theory. that the bass players are the best characters in band
I
anime.
fucking knew it, dude. I can read your waifu game like a book.
What the fuck do you mean? Rupa is gorgeous. I love her.
Yeah, the second she came on fucking screen and I knew she was going to be in the band, I was like, hey, pretty mama, you're Maddie's favorite. Oh, you're slightly older than the rest of them. That's all it takes.
Oh, I am so fucking predictable. Kiri said the same thing. She said, do you like that girl? I said, yeah. She said, yeah, I fucking knew it.
It's good. It's not a bad thing to be predictable.
I'm predictable. But anyways, the bassist, Mio, the best character in K-On! Barring Azusa, but Azunya, but you know, that's we're not gonna talk about that. Yamada from Bocchi the Rock, best character in Bocchi the Rock. The guy from Given who played bass, best character in Given.
It's because bassists have to play bass. You have to have like less of an ego in that respect. Like you can have an ego in other respects, but like you have to not want to be the fucking center of the musical attention.
Oh, Gene Simmons has joined the chat to say you're fucking wrong.
Well, no, Gene Simmons had the other reason you play bass is because you can't. That's the reason I play bass, because you can't play anything else good enough.
Oh, you know what? That's fair. Yeah. So the animation in this was pretty great. Rupa, pretty great. I looked at Rupa, the one Rupa figure that's up for pre-order. It's coming. Does she have the bass?
She
does. She's leaning on the bass.
I would never pick an SG bass, but like that sounded fucking sick, dude. The mix on the music was good. Good.
Okay, yeah, like when she was doing her solo at soundcheck, I was like, "Oh my god!"
I
was like, "Oh, hit it again!"
And then she's like, "Yeah, I have to." I traditionally do not like distortion on bass. But when she clicked that fucking distortion pedal, dude, and starts ripping it, I was like, let's go, baby.
I fucking know. I was like, oh, let's get funky.
Oh.
Yeah, the music in the show, they said, we're a music anime, we know what we've got to focus on, and that's the music. The filler background music for some of the ordinary events that occur in this anime, pretty fucking solid. Like, I ended up, just to make sure that it wasn't, me just being motivated by the mood of each scene, I ended up listening to the soundtrack of Girls Band Cry, and I was like, oh no, this is actually some good music. This is some solid B+ tunes, you know?
It was really simple. What I liked, I sat back, and for a while I was like, are these samples? And I don't think they are, because what the backtracking, what the score did that I noticed, which is wild, because I'm not usually a guy who notices score, but maybe it's music anime. It continuously built upon itself. It would start off like just acoustic guitar, just kind of playing a little lick, and then you'd have like some hi-hat drums behind it. And then by like the end of the scene, it built with the scene, and you have like a fucking rhythm guitar, and you have the bass, and you might even have some like strings playing in it. And to get samples that flow that well together is a fucking feat. You might as well just compose the music yourself. So yeah. But I really enjoyed like the way it really like it started off as nothing, because I love music that starts off with like one instrument and just you continuously pile on. That's kind of how I end up. If you ever listen to one of our Tokyo Treat ads, a lot of the music in that is me just kind of being like, all right, now we build it back up, we build it louder. So I liked it.
Yeah, like shout out. Some people just listen to the ads because of the music. This is a known fact.
Thanks to anybody who does that.
I think Booty Stank said that. Let's just shout out the episode. Fuck it. Let's go. Yeah, no, I've heard, I listen to the ads because of the music. I don't want to hear me say stuff about, our beloved sponsors. I love our sponsors, though. They're great. We're not 40 minutes in. I can't say run the ad. There's a science to podcasting, kids. And the science is make sure they're in and they can't quit. You got to get them 40 minutes in.
Another thing I really enjoyed about this anime, and it kind of plays into the music and what I was saying, the big moments really fucking hit. And I guess this is a good time. We might be getting into some spoiler territory. At some point, we'll be getting into some spoilers. It's not the most plot-heavy show. I think you can have a good time, even if you know kind of what happens. But here's your spoiler warning. Um, but
Uh,
some of the big moments, man, really got me. For an anime to where a lot of the more dramatic scenes, I genuinely felt annoyed. But to keep on the positive train, in the big music moments when they all played together, when fucking Nina had, the thing that this anime talked about was like putting it all out in your music,
mhm.
everything you're feeling. I think they really that message played through well with Nina and her performance to where I'm even getting kind of goosebumps now just kind of thinking about it. So the highs were unbelievably high for me at least.
Yeah, no, this is going to be what becomes the backbone of our both of our views. I figure it's that the highs were really high, but then the lows would hit soon, if not almost immediately after, and send you crashing down. Going, I don't think I like this anime. And then the next moment, you'd get a high, and you'd be like, "Oh man, this is must be a farm because I see my goat right there." And then
Yeah,
it would crash back down, and you'd say, "Oh God, another episode," and then you'd be like, "Oh man, another episode." It was just up and down, up and down. That's the girls band cry experience, at least for the anime brothers.
sure. Sure. And I don't know if we need to stick on the positive train right now or if we can go to a more of a neutral ground, but I really felt, and I mentioned this to you before we recorded, I felt this was kind of, it felt very romance anime. It felt like it was written like a romance. And the band just happened to be the relationship. It wasn't so much that it was Yuri bait for me. It was just all the big dramatic blow ups. Every time Nina was like, you don't understand my feelings. I'm going to quit. Momoka being like, this is my last show out of nowhere. It feels very, very drama, fucking romance heavy. Whereas, I don't know, band drama happens, but it's more like, fucking asshole never puts his fucking gear back in the truck and I'm getting sick of it.
Yeah. I made a deal with Girls Band Cry on episode 8 or 9 whenever Momoka and Nina end up going inadvertently to a Diamond Dolls, their rivals gig.
Yeah, I think that was episode 9 because I remember
Yeah.
really liking that episode.
I really like that episode too. That was probably the high point for me.
Yeah,
Honestly, I love the stuff where they're actually going out on an adventure and touring. That was kind of where I was like, "Oh, okay, this is my good, the barnyard goat right there." Uh,
yeah. I
but
think episode
when
11 was my peak. When they played the first, I think that was when they like played their first show before going pro or whatever.
Yeah,
That was it for me. I was like, this is my favorite.
yeah. Well, when Momoka and Nina were in the car, and Nina said, actually, there was a moment, I think episode 4 or 5, where Momoka like grabs Nina's face, and I said, "If you kiss right now," the girls band cry. "If they kiss, 10 out of 10. You can be slop the rest of it. You can be Imaishi Puppet Theater for the rest. I will give you a 10 just because you're that bold to say, yeah, that's what's up."
I mean, Nina confessed her love, bro.
She
She even said
did.
it like in those words. This is a confession of love.
Yeah, see, she also was like, with what little Japanese I know, she hit him with that ski. She didn't hear with that dia ski. Like you can use ski in that format of being love, but I was like waiting for a dia ski because I was like, oh man, that's the big love. That's a bigger love right there.
The
But
difference
she didn't.
between love you and I love you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, this is Matt who doesn't know Japanese to its fullest. Ski is basically like die is being like of the utmost, or like it's dai gurin. It's the big
Oh yeah.
Gurren,
Okay.
basically.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Um, and I've done this before on other podcasts. And then you got Aishiteru, which you generally only use for like your who you're married to or your family or something to that effect. Anyways, but she confessing to her caught me off guard, and I thought they were going to be a hard couple. I'm fairly certain that and there's also a scene where Tomo was in bed and Rupa showed up at her doorway. And I said, "Oh my God! If they get in the bed, I'm going to lose my mind. And I'm going to run out of my place. Just run in the street and get hit by a car."
I think
But
they knew what they were doing because they started off the anime by being like, "Yeah, my roommate dates dudes," so they're laying the fabric for like gay is totally chill here, dude. We love gay, lesbian, bisexual, all the stuff, all the letters of the alphabet. We fucking love them, dude. And then it was like all this Yuri bait stuff. They knew what they were fucking doing.
there is absolutely this crafted science in anime. If it's a sports anime, it's the perfect place to have all the guys be shippable. It's a band anime with girls. I've never seen it. Sound Euphonium. Girls band Cry, K-On, you know.
I think we found out our panel, bro. Like, we've been kicking around like what panel we want. I think we found it. Like the inherent pattern in sports and band anime.
Yeah, I mean, all girls in a band anime, you know what that's for. It's for you to go like, this one's with this one. This is my main ship. And then sports anime, Haikyuu, I dated somebody who was into that.
The science of Yuri and yaoi baiting. I think we could get away with that.
I think we could, but then we'd immediately, as soon as we started the panel, we'd have to be like, we are both straight men and
I've thought about stuff, but I never really experimented. I don't know what that means.
I've seen a few wieners. Come on,
but like we're straight passing.
Yeet on them.
Yeah. And we just that's like our 30-minute panel is just us kind of like justifying our sexuality. Like, look, all right, am I saying that I don't have a preference between cut and uncut? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I've never been with a dude, all right?
I'm just saying it looks more aerodynamic. I'm saying that if you didn't think about that, that's weirder. Like, you can't tell me. Guys, show of hands. Who here's thought about cut wieners? Oh, come on. It's not gay. And then you see the crowd just leave, and it's just, I think we got our point. Now let's actually get into it.
Yeah, and then it's like, yeah, guys, you gotta go. We got an actual panel coming up.
Yeah, the con organizers have been called because you basically spent 20 minutes of your panel going explaining how you're definitely not gay, but men are attractive.
But I get it,
Like, I'm not gay, but I get it. Sometimes I see wiener, I go like, that's an impressive hunk of meat, but I'm not gay. If I see a work of art, I go, hey, that's a nice statue, David. What's going on there?
Just to derail this a little bit further. But okay, so my fucking uncle, dude, every time, and you must experience these people, but every time like gay people are brought up or something, like any kind of queerness, he always like has to make mention that I don't have a problem with it. And I'm like, I don't know if I actually, but it's like every time you mention you don't have a problem with it, it brings to question that someone should have a problem with it. I'm like, you don't need to say that, brother. You're fine. I appreciate you. You got the spirit, but you're good.
I bet he's the same type that would say something like, I don't mind gay people. I just don't want them to, don't be falling for me.
Yeah, as long as you're not. And I'm like, dude, no, you're fine. I promise you, you're good.
I already get people going like, so ask Carrie, like, so is Matt like, does he like both? And she's like, no, he's just very enthusiastic.
I love it. Yeah, girls band Cry. Yeah, Yuri Bait of the century.
Yuri Bait of the century. Oh, bringing up Kiri, one of the things that ruined the show for me mildly at the beginning was in the third episode. Kiri was watching the first 3 episodes with me, and I'm literally tisking Nina for her just constant over-emotional reactions.
Mm-hmm.
And Kiri looks at me and she says, but you're just like her.
Oh my God.
And I looked at Kiri and I said, I almost whipped what the fuck do you mean? And Kiri's like, you do the same thing. You'll say, I don't want to be friends with anybody. I don't need that. And then you'll immediately go, I do want friends. Why am I like this? You're just like her. And you also do the same thing. You've done the same thing to me too, Matt, where you said, I can't hang out. And then immediately backpedal like 2 minutes later. So yeah, Kiri doing that kind of made me, just irked me a bit early on.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. There's a difference between like everyday things and like committing to a band. I think so. I don't know. But I get that.
Nina's just overreacts about a lot of things, but apparently I overreact too because I got down and dirty with this.
Well, we can talk about Nina. We can talk about all the characters, all the girls in the band that are crying.
Okay.
Nina was much like the show. 2 sides of the same coin. Like there were some times where I thought Nina was just the cutest, man. Like some of the times where she'd throw the pinkies up instead of the middle fingers, I thought it was cute. But then like the other half of the time, it was very much like her not just like overreacting, but like having the big soap opera blow up, having the storm off, and I do understand that they were playing kind of into her character, into the emotional weight of everything that she had gone through from being bullied at school and how her parents treated her and the too much structure in the household. I guess it just didn't resonate with me, and therefore it came off as annoying.
Yeah. No, I get that. Nina's Nina is a character of extremes, to the detriment and to the verisimilitude of the show. It makes the show feel more sincere that she's constantly bouncing between the twos because she is a high school girl, and she is probably all like she's young and she's emotional,
Yeah.
That makes sense. So it's to the benefit of the show that she's constantly jumping because it makes sense, As irritating as it is for us two grown ass men to go, why are you being like this? There is sincerity in her character writing, which is good. It makes Nina a grounded character, but it is also annoying as hell watching this girl flip flop constantly, like as the aforementioned CW drama that'll now be streaming on Hulu next day. It is annoying to have to bear witness to. And it is frustrating, especially when you have other characters who are perfectly sane in other ways, such as my beloved Rupa, who's just supportive and just happy to be on the ride. And you have Momoko, who's, I think I want to quit the band because we have different ideas, and I know we haven't established the ideas, but we have, based off this one prior hyper-specific scenario that happened to me, I think this is going to go down the same way, so I'm going to leave the band, and I am doing it through a text message. Our Subaru, who just does the same thing, says, I'm leaving the band now because my, what is her name?
Her grandma?
What is her name? No, I was trying to be funny, but her Sigourney Weaver grandmother
Oh my God.
says, I want you to act even harder. And Subaru says, well, I can't disappoint Sigourney. So she backpedals and then immediately repedals after a whole bit where they play act and Nina takes it way too seriously and starts confronting Subaru. Her grandmother, Subaru's grandmother, was probably just going, these two are gonna kiss, aren't they? And Momoka's going, I don't think so. I'm quitting the band next episode.
Yeah, I think Momoka, honestly, while Nina was annoying, it felt more sincere. Momoka, I don't know, man. Like, I do understand the struggle of wanting to write music that you want to write. And I get all that. And I know the experience she had before was like getting that success and having her bandmates turn on her. That sucks. I do completely understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess what frustrated me with her is like she was the harbinger of this band. She was like, Nina, you have to fucking sing for me. I want to start a band and you have to fucking sing for me. And then as soon as like, and she was the one also preaching like about collaboration and that a band is like about everybody kind of getting on the same page or whatever. Right. And then as soon as other people were like, this is what I want out of the band. This is what I want out of the band. She was like, I think it's best for me to just quit and not try to deal with this conflict. Conflict resolution, more like conflict dissolving, because I'm out of here. Peace, bitch.
Yeah, so that is one of the key problems I have with the show is that everyone is constantly fighting.
Yeah.
And I get it. I get that this would be it would be a more boring piece of entertainment if there wasn't adversity, if it was just something to the nature of K-On! Where the disagreements are kind of a little bit more minor. But at the same time, it's frustrating when you're supposed to be in a band and every episode it feels like there is some kind of conflict out of nowhere.
Yeah. There could have been conflict drawn from genuine band stuff. You know what I mean? But it felt like it was all, like you said, drawn from nowhere, as if this was like just two people in a relationship and you had to come up with problems for them. You already have the problem scenario. Being in a band is fucking hard.
Yeah.
Playing shows. I would have really liked for them to play into like we're on the smaller stage, we have to steal their fans. You know what I mean? I would have liked that. More things like they had that was a point of contention, but that never felt like it was a fucking focal point to the drama. You know what I mean? It never felt like there was less insecurity about like, do I have what it takes to perform up to the stakes of a professional band? It was more just very interpersonal drama, and I guess that's just not what I wanted out of the band anime. I wanted to see the struggles of playing. I wanted to see the struggles of booking shows. And that all felt, like we said earlier, very streamlined and very, very, this is just how things go if you want it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of, the music composition and the actual that entire aspect felt a little bit on the back end than anything else, you know. Like obviously one of the end bits about the entire show, or the end one of the final story beats is about how Nina wants to learn how to play guitar, and Toma's over there saying, "You suck and you'll never be good and you should probably end your life now." And Nina just magically learns how to be better at guitar over an undisclosed amount of time, or the amount of time that I didn't fully grasp. And it's just, okay, so now you're like kind of decent-ish on rhythm. That's okay.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna... No, go on. You can finish.
No, you go. You go. What am I gonna say?
I was just gonna say, like, I don't think it was necessarily handled the best, but as far as like picking things in a band to get drama out of, I don't hate the idea of one band member being musically more talented than, especially the singer. Like, I genuinely went through that in Pinebrook, the band that we recorded a track in. I couldn't fucking play anything, dude. Our bassist was like one of them fucking... He could have gone to Berkeley type shit. Like, he was a genuine, like, he knew what the fuck he was doing, could write out an orchestra if he needed to.
Yeah.
And our drummer was insane too, but the bassist handed me his bass. He's like, jam around. And I was like, I just started playing a Blink-182 song, Matt. That's all I could do. I can't jam. I don't know what the fuck a key is, man. So I do understand that struggle from both sides. I wish it would have been a little bit more of a struggle for Nina, you know. But at that point, I was just so happy to see her take something on the fucking chin and not overreact to it. That when she was told that she sucked and she was like, all right, I'll get better, I was like, all right, cool. Fair enough. But from Tomo's point of view, like, how do you express that? Like, it happen. It can happen in like backyard fucking sports and shit, dude. Like, you're on a flag football league and you're playing with your buddies, and it's like one guy just isn't as good as the other, so you don't say anything, but he just slowly gets less playing time. Shit like that. I understand that struggle, and I kind of liked how it would. I think it could have been a more focal point to kind of what you were saying. It could have been better. But for what we were given for dramatic hinges, I liked it.
Yeah, you see, like you were talking about your bass experience and about how you had a similar issue. I could get where Nina's coming from too. As someone who drums, right, or has used to drum.
Yeah,
I would constantly rush. You know, if I would get into it, I would not keep tempo very well.
It happens to a lot of drummers. We had to let one of my best friends, Drew, we kicked him out of our fucking band because he couldn't keep time. And when we tried to record a song, we learned that.
Yeah.
And it was a bummer. It was a fucking bummer to have to tell your buddy, like, you're not good enough.
Well, see, that was the thing, is that, like, and this isn't going to just be us regaling, like, you know, stories, obviously, but it's one of those things, like, when Nina was being told she sucked and she was only getting no feet, I kind of felt that. Because when I was playing, nobody was really saying, like, Matt, you're dragging now. It was just, Matt, could you keep it? Could you keep beat better? And I'm like, I thought I was, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm just over there just having fun because I just wanted to have fun. And then it's just, you're doing it wrong. And but what am I doing? You know?
Yeah. 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 You know, nobody tried to like hook you up with a metronome or anything. Nobody tried to work with you.
No, I basically ended up, and I didn't have a drum kit, so all my practicing was just me with my sticks on my like counters and stuff. You know, it was not my kit.
That was Drew too, and unfortunately, like he was really going through it. Like he didn't have the best home shit going on towards the end of high school and whatever.
Yeah,
and that was a big reason. We're like, dude, if you had a fucking place like a drum set or where you were staying and you could practice and work to a tempo, then like, all right, cool. But and we, unfortunately, you know, maybe that does play into like wanting to go pro thing. We thought we were better than we were, but it is what it is.
Well, it was also just my whole band situation was just that I wanted to play drums, and it was
I feel you.
Nobody else wanted to, as far as the people I knew. So here I was.
Yeah. But just to get on. Yeah, to get on some of the good stuff, some of our favorite episodes, we kind of brought it up, but like episode 11, when they played at the music festival, like that was cool, man. Like that got me fucking going. Like being on the Ernie Ball stage and having a rival band on the main stage, and you're like, well, let's fucking do it, dude. let's put on a goddamn show. Like that's what I love, man.
Mm-hmm.
I love and that I think it could have leaned into more of those punk sensibilities of like, all right, we might not be the biggest, but we sure as fuck are going to be the best.
Yeah.
But that episode was dope. Go on.
Well, I was kind of waiting for and I guess this is me as like someone who tries to write. I was waiting for the moment where everybody goes, you know what? It's about having fun. Yeah, and then everybody just had fun playing, but it never really reached that. It was just I want to use my voice and express myself. Here are my cringy lyrics. No, like I'm gonna be honest. The lyrics did not resonate with me. Like obviously Japanese is a different language. You know, it is a different language with different nuances. But a lot of the time, I was just staring, going, "I would never, ever, 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 ever sing this. What is going on? I would be too embarrassed."
Yeah. Also, like, what is with Nina's speeches at the beginning? You got to play a song before you give a speech. Like, you can't just come in cold.
Yeah, like. Like, here's my thing. If I was going to go see a new band, like a band I wasn't too sure of, that's why you only have 100 views on your single, because they don't want to go to your set and then here you go up and say, today I had lunch and it made me think that maybe I'm going to be alone for the rest of my life. I'd be like, this woman is insane. She wants to host a podcast.
Yeah, no, she should have done podcasting to get that out of her system. And she didn't even have like fucking post-hardcore guy cadence. What the fuck is up, everyone? We are Girls Band Cry. I can't. Togero, whatever. I'm going to say.
Yeah.
And we are, I have been sad today, but these girls behind me helped me pull through. Yeah, like you have to do that cadence or else it's not, like you can't do a speech at a rock show.
No, Nina is getting on stage saying, I was bullied in high school and it made me drop out, and then I went to the city, and when I went to the city, my light was blown, and I was really depressed about it, but these girls helped me through this, and I'm currently in a fight with Momika. That's Momika right there. We're in a fight together. I hope she kisses me later, and this behind her is this, I don't remember her name, but she's there, and also Rupa, hello Rupa, what's going on? And it's just, okay. If I was getting ready for your set, and this was the full thing going on, I would walk away. I'd be like, hey, I think we'll just leave the festival for tonight. This is clearly going to go on for a minute. She's got some stuff to work through.
Again, you got to play at least one song before you start talking about yourself, dude.
Yeah, it's called banter. You need to work on it. What you do is you play a song, get the sound, get everybody going, and then play another song. Then the third song, and then you start talking. There's rules, Nina. There's rules to this, and you are breaking them. I just can't get behind this chicanery.
The only thing she could have done worse, and this is not a slight to anybody who follows the Christian faith, but she, mid fucking set, go, we're a band that has dedicated ourselves to Jesus Christ. He is love. He is hope. Which happened more than you'd think it would at fucking Warped Tour, dude. Like, you'd be fucking chilling like this fucking metalcore ass band, and you're like, wow, these guys are dope. And then just all of a sudden they're like, we are a Christian band. And you're like, I did not expect that. Holy shit.
Me when I pull up to the Reliant case and they're like, we're a Christian band and we sing about Christian things. Like, how could I have known? How could I have known that this would happen to me?
Dude, I cannot, ever since I learned that, I can't listen to Be My Escape the same anymore. It's like, this is a song about Jesus. This is so about Jesus.
They're singing about God.
Like, it's still a good track. I don't hate the song, but I cannot get the Lord out of my head when I think about it.
Well, the actual track, like on the original album, it literally has like a minute-long monologue at the end about God, but they cut it from the single. This is a fact. This is what happened.
Oh, it is wild, dude. So yeah, if Nina would have come up and been like, you know, done the Christian preaching, like that would have caught me off guard more so, but it would have been relatable.
You would have been like, yeah, I've been here before, gang. But yeah, no, Nina's Nina's sincerity would be a boon for a lot of people. I mean, she's got the most likes on my anime list for good reason, because that sincerity it can be impactful to some people. And I know a lot of people who could be going through the same things as Nina was. In fact, that's kind of what endeared me to Nina when I found out her backstory. That she's got such a strong sense of this is right and this is wrong, and if it's not wrong, and if it's not right and it's wrong, then I'm going to be upset about it. Which I appreciated, because that's This is coming from Matt, who does done some really extreme things, because I was like, that's sucky. I hate that. I am going to possibly dox somebody because you've pissed me off in a way that I can't help. So I get where Nina's coming from, and I love that about her. Like, there's Nina's relationship with her family. I loved that episode. That was probably my favorite episode, because I was so just rooting for Nina to get her vindication. And to be proved that she was selfish, but she was wrong. She was right though. She swears she's right. She swears she knew it all along.
Dude, okay, so there was a moment in that episode that made me laugh. Genuinely. And it was just because it was like, oh yeah, we're in Japan. When they're all having like the family discussion after Nina comes back, and then it cuts to her dad in the other room smoking cigarettes, and I'm thinking like, oh, he can't even be in the same room as her, which was true. But then he joins the conversation, and I'm like, oh my god, that's right, the walls are paper. Holy shit. 'Cause he's not there, and he just starts talking. And I was just like, whoa, that's right. Oh my god, he's just sitting in there. So he's genuinely like, he needs to be, it's not even like I can't talk to you or look, he needs to be part of the conversation, but he's locked away. It's such a Hank Hill thing to do. That is a Genichiro Hill move.
You were like, this man is Clark Kent. He's hearing through walls.
Dude, like it hit me immediately. I was like, oh yeah, Japan. But it was just so fucking, I don't know. There's something about the scene of dad being so disappointed in his daughter. He shuts the door and continues to lecture her. It's just funny to me, man.
He's just like, I'm so mad at you. I've got to get my cancer. And also I'm going to be over here. Yeah. Well, her dad also the entire time. I was just thinking to myself, like, dang, like my dad had some issues, but he wasn't like you where it's, yeah, I don't think you're right at all. And this is very Japan. Was the so we're going to school. Guess what? They've written you a letter of apology. Isn't that crazy? And I'm just like, huh? Yeah. What will that do? What does that change? I don't get it. I don't understand how this will change her life for the better. See, you were right. And that was the whole thing. This entire anime is Nina needs to prove she's right. That's basically the tagline for the show, was her saying, and I'm right. It's her conflict with everybody. I've got to prove I'm right.
Yeah.
Her whole thing with whatever her name was, Hina, that girl also, by the way, can't stand that girl at all, because it's suddenly becoming super personal. When the other shoe drops around episode 6, where Diamond Dusto becomes super personal because the lead singer is magically Nina's best friend who told her not to go stand up to not stand up to the bullies. I said, oh, okay, all right, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that a little convoluted again.
CWS fuck over here.
Yeah, but we had to give Nina a reason. I understand why it was done. Like, you need Nina a reason to have like a rivalry with this band as well. Build drama, build tension. But yeah. Well, a little like, all right.
A little bit of too much plot convenience all in one bag. And it kind of irritated me. It was another thing that kind of just took me out, was this whole, I've got to be better than this band. As someone who is over here saying, I just want to have fun doing what I do. I don't care if I'm better than anybody else. And then Nina's like, I need to prove I need to show that these girls, that they suck and I rule. And here's the pinky up. Yeah, you got that, girly.
Yeah. So I think where I'm really split in this anime is kind of a division between the writing and the directing. Mm-hmm. Because directing's great. Directing's fucking fantastic. I loved the direction. I loved, you mentioned it earlier, but like the end credit scenes that go into a performance and they're essentially a music video. Like, that's good stuff. That's really, really good stuff. I just think the writing wasn't where I wanted it to be. I needed it to be for me to really fall in love with this anime. It had a lot of good stuff in it, but it's so much which is crazy seeing the fucking Hanada's credits. It's like just some of the stuff that I would say is just the most masterful of writing. And I know there's a lot of source material going in, but to adapt something is not the easiest task. You know what I mean? There is some credit that needs to be given there, but I thought that was genuinely the weakest part. And I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with it being kind of a collaboration, and it seems like this was. I don't want to say. All right, I'll say it, and I don't mean it to be mean, but more of a showcase of stuff rather than a story that needed to be told. You know, they wanted to showcase the cool animation and the directing style, and I'm sure that Agia Springs or whatever has something to do. You know, they probably wanted some sort of promotion out of this, but that's where I don't know. It feels like a 13 episode music video that's really cool, but a lot of like in like most music videos, when it cuts to parts that aren't the music, it's like, all right, this is unnecessary. That's painting with very broad strokes, but to kind of give a broad stroke how I'm feeling about this direction, fantastic. Writing leaves something to be desired.
Yeah. Well, there's so much talent in the actual directing. Like a lot of the scenes are really well choreographed, especially like we just said, like the actual music performances. They are wonderful. And I was so sure how overdramatic and overindulgent this show could be. I literally was telling Kiri as we were watching this, crossed arms, smug look on my face, glasses pushed up. Yeah, this is what you get in a lot of Mario Kata works. And she had nothing to do with it. So I lost my animeology degree.
There you go.
And so it's unfortunate, but now I will be going back to anime university to finish my master's, because I called it completely wrong on this one. I was so sure that Mario Kata had something to do with this. But yeah, it's so overdramatic, and the writing the writing fluctuates. It fluctuates because there's some fun writing. Some of the comedy in this show made me legitimately laugh. You know, there was some comedy in the show that utilized some of that classic anime shenanigans with I'm crazy and this is wild, I can't believe you did that, and the 3D worked for it. There's especially scenes involving when they go to Drummer's house and they actually involve with her, like bringing the snake and all over that was a lot of fun. There's a lot of fun in the humor of the show and these just slice of life aspects. Honestly, some of my favorite moments from the show is when they're eating beef bowls and they're talking casual, when they're gagging around. And then the next thing you know, how can you not believe that I've been doing everything right? I've been believing in you since there's been time immortal. I believe in our music. I believe in our sound. I'm like, shut up. I don't care.
I also have a hard time believing that they're going to be allowed back to these restaurants after these blow-ups. This seems very un-Japanese to me.
It seemed like they were in it. Like, if you saw that in America, they were about to be blows. It seemed like a domestic disturbance was going on in several of these restaurants. Really uncomfortable. And maybe that's supposed to be the point, that it's uncomfortable. Yeah, but it's more cringy than legitimately drama-inducing.
Yeah, and I think a lot of there's a good bit of this that, you know, is playing into what our tastes are. You know what I mean? And the fact that it just happens sometimes when things become homework and you don't stumble upon them just out of your own free will. There is a little bit of that, like, I could be playing Uma Musume right now. But, you know, I do think that there's, I don't know. I think that I don't think it's a 10 out of 10. I definitely will start there. Clearly something to be desired for us. But I do think that the fact that we're two 30-year-old dudes, you know, maybe there's there's got to be something in there for other people. You know, and it must not, well, I can't even say the 30-year-old dude thing, because doesn't Giguk love this fucking anime? Yeah,
so I believe so.
Yeah, and he's mid-30s too, you know what I mean? Like, he's rocking it. So, yeah, I guess maybe it's just that we weren't in for the drama. We weren't drama hungry in that way.
Yeah, I think that it lingering on the extremes of the drama is kind of the issue for both of us, you know?
Yeah.
Because what I called this to you in our personal messages, I called this a flawed gem.
Yeah.
Because I think this is a gem of the show. I really enjoyed it. The highs, like the ceilings, were so nice. They weren't those crappy popcorn ceilings that'll fall down and get in your drink and it's icky. They were nice ceilings. There were nice little paintings, nice little tiles on the ceiling. But then the floors would be covered in like cum and juicy juice and
movie theater floors.
Yeah, movie theater floors. Yeah. There is a lot of cum in movie theater floors in America.
More than you'd expect.
What? It was so weird. I just went to go see the Smurfs and there was fresh cum there. Weird. But yeah, so it's so weird because the highs of this show are so much fun. And if they'd just been kept those highs, I would have been just, I could easily recommend this. But then you get to the ceilings and the floor, and I go, I don't want to touch that. I don't want to have to deal with. Even though I do not speak Japanese, or I have like a barely capable comprehension of a good bit of it, I would have had to mute it sometimes because I could just feel my skin tingling with, oh my god, this girl's about to say something embarrassing, and even I understand that she's about to do it. But again, this is us. If people wanted an unbiased take, they would go to an AI model and ask it to conglomerate an opinion for them. I think us having a little bit more age will affect has, like you said, affected our enjoyment. But I think it also has seasoned my enjoyment a little bit better too, because I can feel that there's a lot of youthful energy in the show, which makes it easy to say that these flaws are by design, and they're not a mishandling or a failure to actually use the show for what it wants to do. This is what the show wanted to do.
You said my whole stumbling earlier, you said it in one sentence, that what we're saying is bad is by design, and that's what they were trying to do. Therefore, we don't like it. It's not a failure to execute.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that because I like the this is Big Yike show. I'm saying that when I finished it, I said, this is not the anime for me. This is not going to be a transformative anime for me. But to somebody else, this is going to be something that sticks with them for a long, long time. Yeah. And I can see why.
Sure. Did you have anything else specific you wanted to get into, or should we move on to final thoughts and ratings?
I love Rupa so much.
Rupa's really cool, dude. Do you want to do like a girls tier list right now?
Oh hell yeah, girls tier list. Let's objectify women. You're right.
Yeah, let's objectify women, but we're ranking their personalities too, man. But they're white. They're cartoons. They're fine.
Cartoons. It's okay. She's actually a 3,000-year-old vampire, gang.
I think Rupa might be my favorite.
Oh, let's go.
I think Rupa's my favorite because character design and character I like. I like them both.
Oh, side tangent. Quick side tangent.
Yeah.
I thought Rupa, I was kind of impressed, and I thought Rupa being partially South Asian and being discriminated was going to be a bigger part of her character.
Interesting. With her... I didn't. So I picked up on the forum. I remember now that you say it. There was like a part where she's like, go back to where you came from. Someone tells her that or some shit like that. Yeah. But I guess I didn't really pick up on the nuance behind it.
Yeah. Well, Rupa is such a chill character. Everything just slides off her like water on a duck. So
yeah,
it didn't affect her, and she said, she's used to it, and but I thought it was going to play a bigger point. I was waiting for the Rupa backstory episode that sadly never came.
Yeah, I wonder if there was more planned,
Oh, well, this is going to eventually get like a phone game or something like that.
I saw something about that. There's a mobile game in production.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Me spending all my money to get Rupa like I did Diwa.
And then you're like, I don't want Nina.
I got another SSR Nina. That's so cool.
Yay. So I think Rupa's my overall favorite. Fucking Momoka, dude. I love her character design. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you know how we were talking a while ago? We have the Manic Pixie Dream Girl. We have the nerdy Gyaru Dream Girl. And I think we also need to throw in the chill as fuck punk dream girl. Mm-hmm. Because that's what she is, dude. She's just in the beginning more so. She gets a little I gotta leave the bandy, and that gets frustrating. But in the beginning, she's is basically my fucking 17-year-old self's dream girl. Holy shit, you're in a fucking pretty much a post-hardcore band, and you're super chill about stuff, and you just hang out. Yeah, that I loved everything about her. But the constant I guess fucking artist high horse thing that she was doing, for lack of a better term, frustrated me.
Yeah.
But that character design's hot, dude. Like, it's really good. That's a really good character design. So I think she's still gonna be my second favorite. Probably. See, that's the thing. It's so hard because, like, I like. All right, fuck it. I'll go Nina, Tomo, and then Subaru. Because I like Nina. I like a lot about Nina, and then it's what you said about the whole show. Can be really distilled down into Nina. I like her highs. When she gets down to the floor, it's sticky, and I don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, God, the hive mind is operating on all cylinders today.
Let's go, baby.
Because that's the same. That's gonna be my list. The same. That's gonna be my exact same list. Like, Nina has her highs, you know. Like, obviously, number one was gonna be Rupa. That was never not gonna be Rupa. I love Momoka just because of her flawed nature. It got on my nerves, but it never got to the lows that Nina did. Nina has some incredible highs, especially as it concerns her family. And I love some of her sincerity, as I've been whipping out that word throughout this entire episode. And then Tomo was just kind of mean. And I just never really got a hold of her. I was waiting for that real moment where I could fall for Tomo as a character. I mean, I love her design. Adorable. But never really hit it off with me. And then Subaru... I didn't like Subaru. Subaru just from day one kind of assailed me with just like this weird facetiousness that I hated. There's this scene where they're in the beef bowl bar where they're trying to keep something away from that what's her name? Mine. And Nina, as Nina is wont to do, says something to the effect of, "Why are you being like this?" And Subaru says something like, "Nan desu ka? I don't know what you mean." And then she says it again, and then like Subaru says, "Are you?" It's just so facetious and just like annoyingly clotting. And I just like, and she did that consistently. She jumped from being this obviously fake person, and I know that there's layers to Subaru. I'm not decrying that this is her whole personality.
Sure,
but Subaru just consistently got on my nerves, and I just never really liked her. Like, yeah, I'm not going to really tell my grandmother that much of what I'm doing, but what can you do?
Yeah.
I just didn't like her. She never really hit it off for me. So once again, I've scientifically proven to you that the bassist in any anime about a band is the best character and the drummer is the worst. See Ritsu and the annoying girl from Bocchi the Rock.
We have another panel idea, but this one's going to be maybe more of a debate. I don't know. You might be right. That's the fucking thing. Like, I like Ritsu, but I don't know. It's worth a conversation. Yeah. Before we get to the final, I remembered another thing, and I want to start doing this. There have been so many episodes where we don't talk about the ending of the anime, and I feel like we've missed out a lot because I have some thoughts on the ending. I did not like the fact that they just to give some like context, they put out the single and it doesn't do numbers. It doesn't do gangbusters. First of all, I thought the single kind of sucked. Like, compared to the music they were making before, dude, like it's a complete departure from the musical stylings. You went more pop and you were like, that was your whole thing. You didn't want to go. I don't, maybe the idol scene is full like baby metal style now, but either way, I thought it was super frustrating that once that single did not perform, they were just like, well, guys, I guess we're not going to go pro and we're just going to step down. We're going to step down from the agency. Like, it did not feel like they gave it an honest try.
Mm-mm.
And that frustrated me. Like, as someone who tried in music and as someone who is currently trying in podcasting, and like by all metrics that kind of, you know, going pro would be seen as, failing. You know, we have listeners. I love the people we have, but we are not a professional podcast in a listener sense. You know what I mean? To see someone just try it once and go, well, I guess we don't have it. That was very frustrating to me. That I can understand. That's very personal. But yeah, I was just like, what the fuck do you mean? Like, give it like you're making a salary. You're getting paid by this. Keep doing that until they kick you. And then you know what you do? Then you do the same thing that you're going to do and go play all the underground bars. Because then you might have, you'll find a fucking underground fan base. You might be able to do this again with a different record label. But the I quit mentality after it didn't go once, I hated it. It really unfortunately put a damper on my entire, like, you could have wrapped this up and all the frustrating band stuff I could have really put on the back burner, but the fact that they wrapped it up in another, what I thought was a poor band story decision, it really rubbed me the wrong way.
I get that completely. That is one of the negatives that that I slotted in for this show as well, is that as someone who's tried at a lot of things to go to like what could be considered a professional level and failed, be it writing, be it anything, really and truly, I am the haru urarara of everything.
Always bet on losing horses, man.
Always bet on losing horses. That's practically going to be the podcast tagline at this rate. But you do things because you love to do them. And, like, I get the frustrations instilled with, you did a banger, you did something you thought was going to be good, you went in a direction that's a little bit different to you, and then it flopped, and, you just say, well, I am a waste. I have proven that nothing, I have no talent in the agency. And plus, I really didn't like the Battle of the Bands finale, especially. I was kind of hoping it wouldn't descend into that,
Yeah. The initial setup for the Battle of the Bands, like, we're each going to play different shows, and one of us is already fucking pro, and we've been touring for a year. Like, that was like, you didn't even have to think about it. Like, that was stupid. Like playing playing the Battle of the Bands a single show, at least you give, like, that's about the performance, that is a battle of the bands. This is a battle of the marketing fucking agency behind you. It has nothing to do with the band.
Yeah, that'd be like me starting a band tomorrow and then literally challenging Imagine Dragons.
Yeah. No, this would be Imagine Dragons coming up to you after you started a band and you played a couple shows and you're like, hey man, I think we can do this. And they're like, oh, you think you can fucking do this? Why don't you try to sell more tickets than us? It's like, I can't do that, buddy.
I cannot do that. I cannot do that, Imagine Dragons lead singer. Even though I know that I have better music than you, I simply do not have the marketing weight to carry people here. And so I'm going to lose.
Another quick little tangent about, like, band stuff. So one thing that it did really right was, like, the venue giving you tickets and you expecting to sell them. The thing that it did wrong was them selling all their tickets. No, you don't. It does not fucking happen. You front up at least $50 of your own money because you just don't sell the quota, man. Every fucking time.
As somebody who performed in bars, what do you mean? Sounds like a skill issue, Earthworm. Sounds like your band wasn't as good as my band at our ability to play country hits.
One more little band story, and I truly do apologize for anybody who doesn't care, but I'm here. So I came up in the peak time of getting paid in exposure. I don't know if you have any experience with that term. But what fucking music promoters used to do is they used to be like, all right, yeah, you come play the show, but you have to pay us to play the show. Or you have to sell so many tickets or whatever. And you're a piss poor local band. Like, you're playing at a Grange Hall. You know what I mean? And they're looking at, and they're like, well, you're not going to get paid, but you got paid in the exposure from playing this show. And that was big in, like, 2010, 11, like, right around there, until bands started to get fucking fed up. And I don't think it's as much of a thing anymore, but it's like, dude, I can't put fucking gas in my tank with exposure. Like, the store doesn't take exposure. Like, yeah, I want people to hear and listen to my shit, but that's not what I'm here for, dude. Like, I need to get paid a little bit of money. Like, you made some money, take your overhead, take your cut, give me my $20, okay?
Well, I mean, certain stores will take it if you pay an exposure. Like, I'm sure that you'll get stuff for free if you go to, like, the Walmart and whip your dick out. Paying that kind of exposure.
So anyway, this all leads me to is the first show my band was ever going to play was at the Worcester Palladium, which is a big fucking venue, and it was at a thing called the Exposure Music Festival. They put on a fucking festival and named it after the fucking shitty thing that they were doing to local bands, bro. I still have the tickets. We didn't end up playing that show because we made the decision as a band that it was going to be really hard for 4, 16, and 17-year-olds to get a bunch of people from Maine down to Worcester to see a bunch of local bands.
That is a big challenge.
Yeah, so I still have like the fucking 30 tickets my share of tickets that I was given. And I think that's a really cool souvenir. Anyway, Girls Band Cry is not featuring Earthworm, who was in a band.
I don't know. I did think that I did see you in the background of that one shot. I was like, that's got to be Earthworm, right?
I was in one of the 2D shots that really threw me off.
Oh yeah, when I saw a 2D shot, I said, "Oh, it's all 2D and crap."
I was like, pick one, damn it, just stop it.
Pick a lane.
You're freaking me out.
I'm
It's
getting
uncanny.
uncomfortable.
All right, yeah, I think we can probably get into final thoughts and ratings now, right? Did you finish your thoughts on the ending? I don't know if I cut you off. I don't remember.
Oh yeah, well, I basically just was like, I wasn't a fan of the Battle of the Bands. I did like the open-ended nature of they played their set to their enthusiastic fans. They weren't as big as Diamond Dust, but they were, they were still hyped to see them. And I liked that kind of sequence, but up to that point, I was just like, yeah, I don't really like this. But still, I like, you know what? We hardly talked about, well, you know what? We did talk about the music. I really like the ED for this anime. That's my last thought. I really like the ED.
Yeah, no, just I'm with you. The musical stylings, the genre of music, I was also really into until that last track. But everything else, banger.
Yeah, certified.
Cool. All right, final thoughts and ratings after 20 minutes of tangents and banters. Matt, why don't you go first?
Okay, so I said this earlier. Flawed gem. I think it is a flawed gem. I think that this is an anime that's got a lot of ingredients to make it a classic. I think it's a fun watch. I think it's got a lot of it's got some good shot it's got some good choreography for the actual music playing, like we talked about that. We've waxed poetic about that for a while. It's got it's got a solid story as well. I mean, it's about a bullied girl who practically drops out of school to go pursue her career. A lot of anime high school girls would just stay and eat cake if they were in a band. So it's taking in new directions. It's taking new directions for anime. It's got some fun writing. It's got some fun characters. There's a lot of great ingredients in this soup, but that doesn't detract from the fact that I know that Nina pissed a little bit in the soup pot, and it's still kind of flavorful, and I hate that I'm eating it. So there's a lot of ingredients to make this anime soup really good, but I just can't stop tasting that anime piss every now and then, And
I don't know. I don't know that I know, but I got you.
Yeah, you understand what I'm saying. Like, I'm making sense. I'm spitting.
Sure.
I say I'm spitting. I don't care what you say if I'm spitting or not. I know I'm spitting. Okay. And so I think the ingredients are really good, and there's a lot of things I like about it. I think that it is a good, classic sort of band anime. If I had to make a list of the best ones, I think this might be my number 2, honestly. I think my number 1's gonna be, well, if we look like band, idol, all that, then it might fall further down, because if I put idol anime in there, then Love Live is going to probably be number 1, even though it's got this weird issue with suddenly adding drama at the last minute. But that's for another episode. But I think if I just included band anime, this would be like my number 3, honestly, between Given and Bocchi the Rock.
Okay.
So it's really good, and I really enjoyed it, but there are so many lows to the show that I say it's a flawed gem, and I mean that with it hitting just a solid flat 8 for me.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? I'll go into mine, and we'll just get the number out of the way because the hive mind is in full effect.
Ooh.
I'm going to give it an 8 too. Some of the highs were really good, you know what I mean? But I don't... am I going to sit back and go, do I want to watch Girls Band Cry for no specific reason other than I want to watch it? No. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be me. Now, what I would do is, pop on YouTube and watch the performance cuts, you know what I mean? Watch all of those, because I said it earlier, the directing was outstanding, genuinely. I thought it was great. I thought the 3D-ness was awesome, and that's saying something. But the writing and the drama, it had moments, but ultimately it was too frustrating for me to think of it as an all-timer anime for me. It probably wouldn't make it on any sort of all-timer list. As far as the 3 girls doing band stuff anime that I've watched, it is definitely in 3rd behind Bocchi the Rock and K-On! But I completely, I 100% get why the Big Yikes watched this and thought this is everything I've ever wanted in anime.
Mm-hmm.
It makes total sense. And I'm a little bummed that it wasn't that for me, but that's okay. And I'm cool with that. And I will just be the Bocchi the Rock guy. I should probably rewatch that because I forget the characters' names already. It was such a fine like 3 days of a binge that I was just in heaven.
I know Bochi, and I know
I remember Bochi.
Ryo, Yamada.
Yep,
I know them.
but yeah, so 8 out of 10 overall from the both of us. Yeah, I think Flawed Gem is a good one. I think that is a good moniker for us.
That's exactly what I felt when I finished this. Flawed Gem, perfectly beautiful, perfectly could put in a ring, but once you look at it deeper, there's a lot of cuts, and the gem's just not cut that great.
Yeah, so there you go, Big Yikes. We hope you enjoyed the episode. We hope that you took our criticisms with all in stride and with a grain of salt and all that fun jazz. And I hope you can hang your hat knowing that you are, as of right now, the highest rated Patreon review Raffle.
Yeah,
so we're going to have to see how Princess Tutu shakes out. But as of right now, the Big Yikes is sitting on top of that poll. So there we go, buddy. Good for you.
Yep. I definitely, it's definitely Girls Band Cry. And then it's the quintessential quintuplets. And then I think it's going to be Van Dread and then Gunsword, and then Desert Punk.
Yeah, you might be able to flip Gunsword and Van Dread for me, depending on how I'm feeling. But yeah, about the same.
Yeah, no, I definitely enjoyed Van Dread way more than Gunsword and obviously Desert Punk. I did not enjoy that in any capacity.
Yeah, not that it's a competition, unless you all want to make it one.
Yeah,
but,
make it a competition.
That's on you. That's on you. I want nothing to do with that bloodbath.
I want you to fight each other for my amusement.
Yes, I have everything and you have nothing. And speaking of having nothing, you know what? We are really starting to have no bees. So for this episode, we are going to have the National Bee Foundation come in, and we are going to do kind of like a little PSA thing where we raise bees. And that these skills are never going to come in to effect again. And though it is state sponsored and for a good cause, this is still a filler arc.
The autumn winds are starting to blow in, and so the citizens of Japan are starting their tradition of Tsukimi, the Harvest Moon Festival. Whether you're in the land of the rising sun or not, that makes it a perfect time to enjoy some tasty seasonal snacks, courtesy of our BFFs for life, Tokyo Treat.
Tokyo Treat are the leaders in masterfully crafted Japanese snack boxes. In this month's Snacktastic Moonfest only serves to prove why. They're delivering a smorgasbord of flavors you won't find anywhere else but Japan, including chewy mochi treats and roasted sweet potato snacks that are sure to bring Tsukimi home to you.
Each box is packed with a vast assortment of snacks, so you'll always find something new to love, and this month is obviously no exception. We have Mont Blanc Kit Kats, a personal favorite of mine, that combine luscious white chocolate with satisfying chestnut flavor. We have Fall Fruits Jelly that feature adorable Pokemon, and we also have bold, crispy seaweed salt potato chips. Those are just a few of the snacks you have to look forward to when you have Tokyo Treat headed to your home.
But you might be like me. I just found out that I'm allergic to any snack with papaya that specifically came from Madura Island in Indonesia. Any other island, and it seems to be okay, but I need to know if I'm snacking safely. Tokyo Treat has me, and by association you, covered, because each box contains a booklet with all the dietary information you need to know, so you're always snacking with safety, and even lets you know if something is vegetarian just in case that's your deal.
I, however, have no allergies except the one that I have to inferior snack boxes, so that means I'm safe because I eat Tokyo Treat. That said, each booklet contains a plethora of fun facts, so I can learn and hopefully not be ignorant. It's a long work, but Tokyo Treat is going to get it done. Like, did you know eggs are kind of a featured food for Tsukimi? Pizza Huts in Japan even serve a special pizza topped with eggs for the occasion. I'm willing to bet it's because they look like the moon, and I learned that all from the booklet, and you could be learning that from the booklet too.
We think Tokyo Treat is legitimately the best in the business, and they've even offered us a special discount code so you can save $5 off your first box and get snacking as soon as possible. That coupon code is Anime Brothers, all one word. Just enter it at checkout and you won't have to spend your nights staring forlornly at the moon, because soon you'll have the great company of a Tokyo Treat snack box.
Typing is really hard, though, but we have you covered because in the show notes of whatever platform you're listening to this ad on, we have a handy, maybe even dandy link that you can just tap or click on, and you'll be taken right to Tokyo Treat's website with that code already applied. We're just doing the work for you because we care.
And even if you don't like snacks, Tokyo Treat boxes with their sublime packaging make excellent gifts. You can get one for your aunt who has watched all of Gintama 3 times, get one for your mechanic who has a very obvious Japan obsession, or you can just get one for yourself and call it a gift for yourself. It's fine, we won't tell.
We won't, we promise, we absolutely won't. And we love Tokyo Treat, and we're sure that you will too, so don't hesitate to use that coupon code Anime Brothers, all one word at checkout, or use that link in the description of this episode so you can bite with the best, that best being, obviously, Tokyo Treat.
Thank you again to Tokyo Treat for helping out and partnering for this episode. Now let's get back to it. Hello everyone and welcome into the filler arc. This is where we talk about stuff we've been doing in the past week that has absolutely nothing to do with the main topic. So no girls band cry, none of that here. So Maddie, you have been, and you've been sharing your progress with me and I've appreciated it. You've been getting really into W Place. Why don't you tell the people what that is and tell us your experience?
Okay, so if you go to Reddit, if you are a Redditor, as they say, there used to be this regular April Fool's event, r/place, where people just drew on a large thing with pixels, you know? Just drew whatever they wanted to draw. Or I think like every person got 1 pixel or something like that. I don't know. I don't Reddit.
It was like one, I do Reddit, and I actually less participated and more observed. It's like 1 pixel per minute or something like that. So there's a lot of coordinated things going on. I remember... God, there was a fucking like video of a Discord call from Germany. They had the German flag in one corner and there were like 50,000 people. They scrolled for like 3 minutes down all the people in this call. It was like a fucking coordinated war effort.
Yeah, I think, so W Place, I don't even know what I don't like saying W Place because W is a nasty, filthy letter.
What the
I'm gonna
fuck,
call it
man?
World Place. Yeah, there you go. World Place, I'm just going to call it, even though that makes it longer. Anyways, point being, so World Place, you draw on a map of the world, anywhere you want to. I thought when I first started, I had to draw near where I was. That was a lie. You can just draw wherever, just draw whatever you want. You basically get a set amount of pixels. As you level up, you'll be able to get more pixels and you'll get droplets, which you can use to either buy new colors or buy or refill your droplets instantly, well, like 30 at a time, or you can upgrade your droplet or pixel capacity. I have been getting really into it. I have shown Earthworm. I've shown a lot of people in Otomel, the Otomel server I've shown, because I'm kind of scared that if I show it in Anime Brothers Summit, somebody's going to bully me.
Oh.
But no, I've been really excited. I love doing pixel art. I used to do a pixel art webtoon, or not a webtoon, a webcomic when I was in middle school. It's a long story, but I basically used to do pixel webcomic stuff. And so I really like working with pixels and using them for art. So I got super stoked when I got to translate that into just making pretty pictures of stuff like Ogre Cap, my little Ogre Cap chibi. I love her. I did a little Miku chibi that I was pretty stoked on. And I've done a Lapras. And I've just been getting really into it.
I liked your little, I don't remember what you called them, but they looked like little first form Digimon.
Oh yeah, my Mochi cats.
Yeah, your little mochi cats. Yeah, anything that looks like a Digimon, I'm down for, bro. I don't even need guns.
Yeah, I did some mochi caps, or dongo cats. They're dongo cats. I did those, and I really liked those.
Very cute.
Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with it. I'm currently working. There is a town called Rhodesville that I found, and I said, you know what this needs? This needs the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. So I've been drawing there.
I drew a check engine light.
Yeah, you did draw a check engine light.
I wanted to make a boat, but you know,
but it was
we don't pixel art over here.
But it was the best damn check engine light that Maine's ever seen.
It's right by his house.
Who? Search for it, and you'll be able to dox.
If we had a bigger fan base, I would genuinely be scared of someone fucking sending me a picture of my shitty boat that looks like a check engine light, being like, "Is this it? Oh fuck! Oh no! No, that's not it, bro. No, it looks way worse.
Nah, bro. Nah, bro. Yeah, I've been getting really, really into it. I'm gonna finish up when we get off this. I'm probably gonna hang out with Worm and then finish my Cody Rhodes.
Fuck yeah.
And I'm super stoked on it. Then I'm gonna send it to Cody and be like, "Hello, Cody. I love you. I'm so glad that you have the championship back. Heart eyes. Please tell Brock Lesnar to go away.
Yeah, my God.
Fuck off, Brocky." Anyways, World Place. I love it. I would share my art more, but I'm scared of rejection. But I'm loving doing it. And I made some friends with it. You can attach your Discord username to your profile on there. And a couple of people have messaged me saying they like some of my stuff. And it's really made me feel good. Like I get that. That feels nice. It feels good. It feels really
That's
good.
That's very cool, man. I've enjoyed the updates, so keep them coming, please.
I will. I'm working on a big Daiwa Scarlet after I get done with this because that's my beloved. And I've even got a new figure of her. But that's beside the point. And as always, Anime Brothers, I've got to bring the anime. He's gonna bring the brother. I just ended up knocking out Taco P's Original Sin. One of the best directed anime I've ever seen. Out of nowhere, this anime looks so damn good. The shots in it are incredible. It is a beautiful anime. It is a shame that I do not care about the story. And that Taco P is an absolute annoying piece of just garbage octopus. And but it is so well directed. If you want to see an anime that is pushing the media for actually making interesting shots, for one, you'd probably need to go to Bocchi the Rock because of some of the stuff Bocchi does. But Taco P's Original Sin, if you're okay with some of the things that Taco P's Original Sin indulges in, I ended up reading the manga before I even finished this anime just because early on it made me really uncomfortable and I just needed to know what was going on so I could prepare myself emotionally for in case anything happened again. But it's a really well directed anime, and even if I don't care for the story, I can really appreciate when someone's doing a lot of interesting things. And it's definitely an improvement on the original manga because I actually knew what was happening. The manga lost me at one point. I said, I don't understand what's going on right now. But this anime takes that original turd and polishes up to a nice golden sheen, and it's even sprayed it with a little bit of Lysol so it smells nice and fresh. So
yeah,
8
dude.
out of 10 again. 2 out of 10s in one episode.
If you give Matt what he considers style over substance, you'll get an 8 out of 10. As long as that style's high, baby.
Yeah, I'm vain. I'm so vain. If all you've got is style, I'm in you. If you just have some good, interesting shots that make me say, wait a minute, I don't think I've seen this before, then there you go. You automatically get an 8 out of 10. But yeah.
There we go.
I was trying to push for us to watch and review this, but after finishing it, I don't really want to put Earthworm through that. So there you go.
Is this a 6-episode one that you were talking about?
Yeah, it's a 6-episode one.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah.
Maybe one day.
The episode length is short, but the emotional damage is high, or the psychological damage is high.
Very good.
Yeah. All right. So what have you been doing?
I don't really have much. I didn't even write anything down on the doc. It's pretty much just been Uma Musume and I got some house stuff going on, but I don't really like talking about it on the podcast. I don't find it that exciting, but I did move I moved a wood stove by myself today. With select help from Kelly, but again, she can't really be lifting fucking big metal wood stove, so
like you.
I got my dolly, and it was all sorts of fucking unevenly weighted, but I tell you what, and big brag here, meant to be a brag, I can dolly with the best of them. That is, I don't have a lot of skills, Matt and listeners, but if you give me a fucking dolly, especially one of them good magliner ones, man, I can scoop and move just about anything that you need to move that is within the required weight limit. Even maybe a little bit higher, depending on how many stairs I got to go down.
I mean, before this recording, this man busted out a Jolene that I have never heard. I was like, damn, he is dollying with the best of them.
Yeah, there's hand truck, I guess, is another word for him. I don't know if dolly is the fucking universal term. But yeah, I've been playing Uma Musume too. That's pretty much what I've been doing in all my free time. That friend I was talking about, I finally got a chance to sit with him and play for a solid long time. Motherfucker got a B with Oguri Cap his first run, dude.
Oh, he got an Oguri Cap.
He got an Oguri Cap. I'm actually he's got Tokai Teo. He ended up choosing her with his voucher or whatever. And I don't know why I didn't give a shit about Tokai Teo for the longest time. Maybe it's just because I don't have her, but I want her, Matt. I want to run with her.
You know what? I'm just gonna backpedal off what you've done. I got Smart Falcon, and I kicked on my bed like a child, finding out that he's getting a new toy. I went full on just yee.
Oh yeah. No, when I got Curran, I stood up out of my chair and like did a fucking run and play stance.
I flailed in the bed, and fun fact, listener at home, don't tell your girlfriend that life is finally worth living again because you got a virtual horse. She will not take that well. All right, so write that down. I didn't know, but now I know. I love Smart Falcon, though. I love her. I love her so much. Her story's so cute. I love idols, and I love these horses. And
she's a dirt horse. There are no dirt horses.
Oh, she's the best at dirt horse. She is the Bakushin of dirt horses. This girl, my Falcon, never. I took not your. You don't have Marozinski as your featured horse anymore, but I took someone's Marozinski, slapped a who did I slap on that? Slapped a Mayano. No, it wasn't Mayano Top Gun. Who the fuck was it? I slapped a Condor L on that. Gave her double end boost, like double end race boost. She was always leading by at least 8 lengths or more all the time. Yeah. Never any competition.
That's great. I need to follow some. I hate, but I need to follow some better accounts. Like my Spark game is so fucking bad. Like I just, what do I have to do, Matt? I fucking get bees on all my stuff, and it gives me fucking 1-star sparks, and I'm like, oh, fuck you then.
I don't even know what I'm doing with sparks anymore. I just build a horse that will win, and then I get no sparks, and then I check their stats, and I'm like, why do you give 64 to speed? What drugs are you on?
Dude, it's like, I see all these Reddit posts that's just like, because I know they're gearing up for the global servers to have this kind of like race competition thing going on. It's like an event race or something where you compete against a bunch of other people. And I've seen a bunch of posts being like, how do I train to be ready for the fucking whatever cup? And people are like, all right, first thing you got to do, take all your fucking completely maxed out support cards. And I'm like, all right, well, I guess we can just go on to the next step because I don't have any of those. And all right, next thing you got to do, get all your 9-star Spark Umas. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess maybe we are just not built for this. Maybe we'll get them next time.
Yeah, I forgot that this is a gacha game and people can wail because I've seen similar guides where they're like, all right, so first, make sure you get in, like, bro, I've got 1 4-star, and every time I look at Taiki Shuttle, I say, what good are you to me?
Dude, I finally got 2 SSR speed cards of my own to use, and it feels good. Don't get me wrong. But like that's where I am, you know? That's where I'm at. And as the guy who has 5 SSR stamina cards, I'm sitting back like, oh, but I don't have Super Creek, so I don't have the good one, so I still have to roll for more stamina cards.
Yeah, I got gosh, who did I get? I got a really good twin turbo. I pulled a twin turbo off of my free pool, which is an SSR, and I was so stoked. I was like, oh, twin turbo. This is so cool. What does she do? And she's a speed card. I'm like, oh, I got a speed card, but not Keithison Black. So what good are you to me? Frozen trash.
But even Kitasan Black, it's like, okay, yeah, you got one. Good for you. It's not even that good until you get fucking 4 of them. And it's a bummer, man. It bums me out. But it's fine. I'm having fun. It's just like, it's one of those things where it's like, I want to do better, but I also want to keep making my mortgage. And those two things really rubbing up against each other.
I understand. Again, whenever Seeking the Pearl comes out, I'm going to be back on my Biwa bullshit. But pulling Smart Falcon though made my day. On top of doing a great job at work, it was the perfect day.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. All right, well I think that's all we got for the filler arc this week. We learned all about bees, and we hope you did too. So go out and do good stuff for bees. That's not even a joke. That's real. So we're going to move on now to the final section of the podcast where our patrons get to ask us questions. It's a Patreon rundown time.
You need a rundown of your clients? Can you get that to me?
When did you need that rundown by?
You started on that rundown yet?
Hello, and welcome into the Patreon rundown. A little peek behind the curtain. I cut it out every time, but Matt always does, like, it grumbles the rundown fucking transition, and I just kind of didn't acknowledge it at all this time. At least not vocally. I don't know what my face was doing.
You just stared off in the distance. You looked so just confused at my mumbling.
I'm bad at recognizing what my face is doing, and that's gotten me in some trouble at work before. Anyway, we are going to start off with our first question from Cream to Poof. And they ask, what is your most visited eatery?
I should have asked them if they meant like fast food or just eatery in general, like a restaurant.
I mean, it's got to be fast food for me pretty much, because either that or I like... Nobody knows what Portland pie is. You know, it's a local kind of chain of pizza places, but it's... Y'all don't live in Maine. I don't know what to tell you. But it's Dunkin'. Like, if my most visited, like if we're just going by the numbers, it's Dunkin'. I am not beating the allegations. My northern blood runs thick, and I go to Dunkin' Donuts just about every morning. I would like to go to McDonald's more, but they're far more expensive for what I like to eat there.
It's true. When I went up to Maine, they all had Dunkin'. They were like every time they had Dunkin' in their hand. I was like, where'd that come from? They're like, yeah, use Dunkin'. It's a Dunkin' thing.
Bro, when you come up next time, guess what? I'm going to be like, what you want from Dunkin'?
Oh my God. I'm super excited. We're going to plan this soon. I'm already telling Kiri, like, I've got to clock me. I'm going to be gone for a few days. I got to go hang out with my homie. I'm going to bring Kaijo and we're going to watch it in our PJs.
Speaking of that, do you want to... This does not need to be talked about on the podcast, but I don't care. Do you want to go to the grocery store that is technically the grocery store in the mist?
Yes, abso-fucking-lutely.
I live a half an hour away from it. We can go there.
Holy shit, gang. We are on it. But actually, to answer this question, as far as eateries that I go to the most, man, I actually go to one of my local Thai place a lot. For basically every Saturday morning, it is a ritual at this point. I go and I get this like coconut soup noodle dish. I can't say the name of it because the name is part of the restaurant, and I don't want to dox myself as always. But it's really good, and I eat there like every single Saturday morning. I eat there for brunch. It's consistent. I always do it. I just love this noodle dish. It's so good, and I put a little bit of chili paste in it, and I mix that around, swirl that around. It's so spicy, and it's so savory, and it's so good. It's got a little bit of nuts on the top. It's so good. But outside of that, I go to Dutch Brothers every other day. So
the Southern Dunkin'.
It's not even the Southern Dunkin'.
I don't know, what is Dutch Brothers. Like, what do we got there?
It's coffee.
Okay.
I think it's more Western based or Midwestern based. It's not like a Southern thing.
It just happened to get down to where you are.
It came down to where I am, and they make a really good like vanilla protein latte. I drink that a lot.
Ooh.
Or on days when I need a little boost, I get one of their blended beverages, the blended Rebels.
Fuck yeah.
I'm partial to the double rainbow.
Rainbow?
Yeah, the double rainbow.
That's sick.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you, Alex. Next up is we're gonna go with Charlock's question, then we're going to do a little double feature from Cappy K. So Charlock asks, if you were to found a cult centered around any anime franchise, which would it be, and what characters would be deified? You two cannot choose the same franchise.
What a foolish question, Charlock. Because you wouldn't let us operate the hive mind, I'm going to say Haruhi Suzumiya with Haruhi Suzumiya. There you go. Phoning it in. Real crispy.
I mean, I have two really pretty good answers.
I'm just joking, so you go ahead.
Yeah, so I could go classic cult leader thing, where I could recontextualize Christian scripture for my own gains. And what is Neon Genesis Evangelion recontextualize Christian scripture for Hideaki Anno's own emotional gains. That's all it is. So that thematically works, I think. And I love Evangelion, so therefore, like, we've already got it. On the other hand, though, what you want out of a cult is to have a built-in audience. I mean, fuck, it's working for the Republican Party. So what I'm gonna do, and you know what, I am gonna fucking straight up go with the fucking Donald Trump strategy here and just co-opt an already assembled cult and radicalize them. And I'm just gonna take JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Like, I know it's kind of fallen off recently. I know the JoJo's thing isn't as insufferable, but I also know that Part 7's coming out. And I know we're all us fucking insufferable pricks are just waiting in the wings. We're just waiting in the wings to go, have you seen Part 7 yet? It's actual peak. But I read the manga. The manga's better. We're all waiting for that. All right, we're going to have a whole new slew of JoJo's references. All right, y'all wait until the popular... the average everyday anime fan knows that Jesus Christ is a JoJo's reference. I can take that and I can use that. So yeah, the cult of Giorno Giovanna is starting today. You are all part of it because you listen to the podcast. No longer talk to your friends and family and sign over all of your paycheck to me. Okay, got it.
This is a good. I will follow this to my dying breath.
Good.
I am going to pick the Monogatari series. And I am going to pick as the character I would deify is Meme Oshino, mostly because their whole people don't save other people, you get saved on your own. And I just want to take that. I don't know, make him like a Buddha figure, like a figure you follow because of their moral followings of this man who basically puts a cigarette in his mouth and doesn't smoke it, kind of like I put death in my lips, but I never pull the trigger on it.
Okay.
I kind of want to just have this man. I think he's already like he studied Shintoism in college or something like that. So I think I'm just going to say that this is a man who learned about the world and then rejected it, who doesn't acknowledge it, but at the same time embraces it. And I'm just going to make that a philosophy. Like a philosophy that I'm eventually going to descend into having multiple sects, which I will operate behind the scenes, all right, first of all, that are going to be more extremist, and they're going to have like Meme Oshinoism that is based off of Subasaism, that's got some Subasaism mixed in, where it's like, you must admit that you don't know everything. You just know what you know. It's going to be a whole thing. I'm just going to start Oshino as the very tip of like my religious deity, and then I'm going to have a bunch of other Monogatari girls be like sub deities and have different sub cults within them. Like you're going to have the Mayoisms, where it's okay to flub things. The flubs are what make you better. And then the Sarugism branch of the cult, where it's like horny all the time, never stop being horny.
This sounds too close to religion. You need to pick an atrocity right now. I don't know. It sounded too wholesome to be a cult, so I needed you to pick something like
it's
mass suicide, like something that is going to fucking cult this up a little bit.
Well, there's going to be a branch that's going to be based around Araragi. So expect some uncomfortable So expect some very uncomfortable, like some don't let kids near them isms.
All right. Thank you, Charlock, for the question. Hopefully you join my cult, but it's fine. Whatever.
And I hope my social security number that I announced to Taz Samurai Whack got cut.
We'll never
Real
know.
story.
All right. Next up is that double feature I mentioned earlier from Cappy K. And these are very related, so I wanted to do them back to back. First up, what is your earliest memory?
I remember being 2 and being in the backseat of a car and looking out the window and looking by a closed car dealership of some sort going, cars.
Yeah, I think I've actually told this story on the podcast when I was talking about Skinamarink. But genuinely, my first memory was that bad dream where like the sheep wanted to hurt me. And I know it's my first memory because I remember waking up and being in a crib. And then there's a lot of blank spots. But like, I guess the first time like my consciousness really picked up and I can kind of remember things from then on. I was playing mini golf and my brother was with his friends or whatever. And they were like further ahead and I was running to catch up to them and tripped and fucking busted my knee right on the corner of a brick. And I remember that. Like it was fucking yesterday, man. A lot of blood, a lot of crying. That was a bad time. Yeah, so those are like my 2 earliest memories.
Fair enough. That's a memory to have.
And then Cappy K asks another, perhaps more philosophical question. Who do you think you were before your first memory?
An even stupider 2-year-old.
I mean, I know, like, before the crib memory, I don't really, like, that was still kind of in this era, I guess. But from what stories I have been told, I was a little soft boy. And I've really grown back into that more so. But I was big into baby dolls, and I used to make my fucking tradesman dad, roofing and siding dad, carry them around when I didn't want to anymore. And dude was like wicked embarrassed. Like he hated it. But I remember like really getting into the more traditional boy stuff, I guess you could say, after like socializing and after meeting other kids and stuff. But I was a wicked soft boy. I remember there's so many like baby doll things and just like, especially in the 90s, what would be considered traditionally girly things I was really into. But I think society helped beat that out of me for a while.
Yep. I understand. I remember being told that I was obnoxiously into Barney. I do not remember that.
Me too.
Even when I was 2, I was told that I was obnoxious about it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I only remember what I remember watching the most is Space Jam. So, you know.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. All right. Well, thank you, Cappy K. Thank you to all of our patrons. You are all fucking awesome. And if you want to become a patron and, become fucking awesome like these people, patreon.com/Anime Brothers Podcast. Link is also down there in the show notes. And thank you once more to very special patron of the week, the Big Yikes, for suggesting that we watch Girls Band Cry. I'm really, the gas tank is empty right now. I am running low, so join the Discord if you want to talk to us. Rate and review us on Apple and Spotify. Follow us on the podcast platform you are listening to us on right now. You've made it this far into the end of the episode. You must like us a little bit. Check out the next episode. Do it for us. And then do this for Matt. Go over to Animisery.com. Read his blog. It's good stuff, I promise you. So, next week, we're doing another thing. We're definitely talking about anime next week, and I don't want to hear a fucking thing about it. So until then, I've been YungxHarm.
And I've been Matt.
And we're the Anime Brothers Podcast. Goodbye, everyone.